Good morning, y'all. So we're going to go through the mean, median, mode, range notes up here again. And I'm going to do two examples for you. Make sure that you follow along and do those with me as well. All right, so when we're talking about the mean is the average of the data set. The steps that we take, we're going to add up all the numbers, and then you divide by the number of numbers in the data set. When you're finding the median, you think about the middle of the data set. The steps that you take, you have to list your data values in order from least to greatest. And then you cross off from the front to the back or back to the front, whichever you want, till you get to the middle. Now remember, if you have two numbers in the middle, you have to add those together and then divide them by 2. So don't forget that part. All right, the mode is the number that shows up the most. And then there can be no mode and there can be more than one mode. So just remember that. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest numbers. So you're going to take the highest and subtract from the lowest. Now the outlier, that's something that we kind of talked about but haven't like specifically talk about. But that is a number that is either much smaller or much larger than the other numbers in the data set, which skews your data a little bit. So if it's smaller, it's going to bring your mean way down. If it's bigger, it's going to bring your mean way up. So just keep that in mind. Now, for the examples down here, like I said, I'm going to do both of them for you. So we're going to find the mean, the median, the mode, the range, and the outlier. So I'm going to put my numbers in order first. So 7, 9, 10, 13, so 7, 9, 10, 13, 17, and 20. So when I find the mean, I have to add all those up, and when I add all of those up, I get 76, and then I'm going to divide it by 6 because that is the number of numbers in my data set. When I do 76 divided by 6, I get 12.6, and it goes on forever, so I'm going to round it up. So my mean is 12 and 67 hundredths. Now when I find the median, I'm going to cross off front to back, and then I end up with 10 and 13. So I'm going to add those two together. So 10 plus 13 gives me 23. I'm going to divide that by 2, and I end up with 11 and a half. So my median is 11 and a half. All right, do I have a mode? Well, remember, mode is the one that appears the most, and I don't have one, so I'm going to write none. And then the range is the biggest and the smallest. So I'm going to do 20 minus 7 equals 13. So 13 is my range, and then I do not have an outlier because the majority of my data is just equally spread out, so there's none there. All right, so I'm going to give you a minute to get caught up with that to make sure that you have all the information you need. All right, so looking at these next numbers, again, I'm looking for all 5 of those. So I'm going to start with order from least to greatest. So I have 78. I have 96, 96, 102, 102, and 114. All right, so when I add all of those up, I get 517. and I'm going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I end up with 86. Hold on, make sure my math is right. 86 and 170 or 67 thousandths. All right. Now I'm looking for the median, so I'm going to cross off front to back. And I have 96 and plus 102. So when I add those up, I get 198. Make sure my math is right. I'm going to divide that by 2. And I end up with 99 as my median. All right, the mode. So we actually have, I'm going to highlight this for you guys so you can see it. We actually have 2 numbers that appear the same amount. So my mode is going to be 96 and 102. My range, I'm going to do 114 minus 78. And that gives me 36, so that is my range. And I do actually have an outlier. 78 is an outlier because it's a lot further away from the data than the rest of the data. All right, so for your practice today, you're going to be completing 1 through 5. I know it says homework, but this is 1 through 5 practice. You're going to flip the paper over, and you're going to do 6 through 10 practice. All right? And then your homework, or the next thing that you're going to do, depending on how well you work and how fast you work, is this sheet right here. So again, it tells you start here, and you're going to calculate the mean of that, and then depending on your answer, you're going to go to whatever. You're not going to go and complete all of these, but this will be due on Monday. All right, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.